This is a walk around the National Arts Gallery in Tirana, recorded in August 2021. The structure you're looking at now is a sculpture called The Cloud, which was commissioned or designed by a Japanese artist and has been in Tirana for a few years now. Apparently, when you look at it from a distance, it's supposed to resemble a cloud and can also look like mist rising above the National Arts Gallery, which is located behind it. I have to say, it's not really my kind of thing. There's not a lot of modern art that I'm that impressed with. As you can see now, you can go right inside the sculpture, you can climb up it, you can walk up it steps. It's now used for events, although obviously nothing was going on at the time of recording. It's actually used as an open air cinema in some of the summer months, and a place where there are often forums and debates held outside the art gallery. The former mayor of Tirana, who is now the country's prime minister, is an artist. He's a painter, and one thing you do notice around Tirana is there are a lot of art installations and quite colourful buildings, which actually does brighten up the place, and it does look quite nice in some circumstances. But as with any artists, I guess, then there's always the slightly strange things like this that don't make sense to a lot of people, certainly including myself. On screen now is the Arts Gallery of Albania, the National Gallery. I didn't go into it, so I can't comment too much about it. I guess from this view, the sculpture does maybe resemble a cloud a little bit more than it did from the main road. I'm walking around the back of the Arts Gallery now, which is something that I was recommended by a local to do when I first arrived into Albania. When I first started walking, I wasn't quite sure why this was being suggested to me. But as you move down here, then it becomes clear. As you can see, there are a few sculptures here, or what were statues from the communist period in Albania. So as you can see in front, there's two statues of Stalin, which is quite unusual. I'm assuming they were up somewhere in the city while they were under communist rule. There's also one of Enver Hoxha, who was the Albanian communist leader, one of Lenin, and a couple more pieces of artwork which are sort of socialist realism in terms of design, the sort of symbolism and propaganda that was used by communist authorities, including one which you'll see in a moment of a female soldier, female fighter. Albania was under communist control after the Second World War from 1946 to 1992, and it was a particularly harsh communist rule, and it was very much a closed country. Enver Hoxha, the former leader, was quite paranoid, fell out with many of what should have been his communist allies in nearby Yugoslavia and in Russia as well, or the Soviet Union, sorry. And Albania became more and more closed to the outside world under his rule. He died in 1985, and changes slowly started to happen before communism fully fell in 1992, as it did in a lot of the countries in the former Eastern Bloc.